Guys, we're back again for Wok Wednesday, and this week we are doing something slightly strange sounding, but it's actually pretty normal. It's a dish called ants climbing a tree. We're not cooking ants. It's very, very simple. It's a minced pork stir-fried with some glass vermicelli. Really, really tasty and simple. There's barely any ingredients to this. I've got some ginger, some spring onion, some minced pork, a few sauces over here, and then this stuff here, which is glass vermicelli. It's basically a mung bean vermicelli. It looks similar to rice vermicelli, but it isn't exactly the same. It's a little bit more jelly-like in structure. So with the glass vermicelli, it's very thin. You only really need to soak your noodles for about 2 to 3 minutes. And they'll cook more into the sauce as well later on. Don't even have to dry these because I'm going to make it relatively saucy, and that will soak up the sauce along with some chicken stock. Whilst that's soaking, some ginger, which I'm going to finely chop up. Nice and finely chopped for your ginger. I've got my service bowl here. I'll just use that for now. And then your spring onion, I'm going to go for nice rings of spring onion. Some for the end. Quite nice to stir fry some of the lower parts of the spring onion with the ginger. Get more flavour into that minced pork. And most of the time, Chinese dishes are quite literal in meaning, but this one, I think it was named because of its look. It should, once you've got enough sort of once we serve it up, it should look like sort of little ants or termites crawling over a termite mound. Not that appetizing sounding, but hey, that's the name of the dish. So we're going to do all the cooking straight in the wok here. I've got my minced pork, fatty minced pork if you have it, great, works better. And then I've got some chili bean sauce, a bit of light soy sauce, and some dark soy and some chicken stock. I'm going to cook all that through with the minced pork and my ginger, spring onion, and then we'll add the noodles once they're soaked and ready to go. So you want to start with a glug of oil. That's vegetable oil or sunflower oil, high heating oil. Get that to a good medium to high heat. Once the oil's smoking hot, then your ginger and those ends of spring onion can go in. And just stir fry that through. Now before your pork goes in, you want to make sure it's nice and smoking hot, high heat. Pork mince. And just press into the pork mince. Allow that to start sealing on the bottom of the wok on a high heat. The pork mince are the ants, you know. So once you start being sort of chopping into it, you'll create your little dots of pork mince. Whilst that's sort of half cooked, then we can start to compile our flavour. So a good tablespoon of doubanjiang, chili bean sauce. Press that into the meat. Smells good. About a tablespoon of light soy. Still on a high heat. Just let that come to heat. It's a little bit too low for me, so I'm going to let that bubble up nice and vigorously before I do anything else. And then about a teaspoon of dark soy. Just break up any big clumps of mincemeat if you can. Now we're starting to form our crawling ants. Keep that on high heat. you can see my noodles, they've been soaked and drained, but I haven't worried about drying them too much because I want the noodles to soak up all this sauce anyway in a second. But once my minced meat has really sort of taken up as much of that sauce as possible, then I'll add some chicken stock, then my noodles, and then finish the dish off. It's so quick. This can be I'm cooking it quantities wise like a side dish, but you could have it as just a quick dinner if you liked as well. So there's no sauce really sitting at the bottom of my wok now. That means that most of that sauce has been picked up by the meat. So at this point, you want to get a good couple of ladles of your chicken stock in, but I want to make sure that the wok is really, really hot before I do this. So it just bubbles up straight away. Pour that in. And once your sauce is bubbling up vigorously, then you add your noodles in, and those noodles will start to pick up all the flavour of that stock and the sauce. And then you just keep bubbling that through until sort of 75 to 80% of that sauce is soaked into the noodles themselves. So you'll know that these are done when you sort of push into the noodles and you can just see little bits of sauce sipping into the rest of the wok. That means they've soaked up all that sauce nicely. Now I've actually changed my serving bowl just to be able to pile up my noodles a little better. So you can kind of get the gist of my sort of termite mound of noodles there, with lots of little ants climbing over the top of them. And they're of course picking up little leaves as they go on these spring onions. Strange title for a delicious dish: ants climbing a tree. A dish like this is all about texture. Get that minced pork with the soft noodles, but because it's mung bean vermicelli, they should have a little bit of a bite as well. Exactly as it looks. Really deep savoury, little kick of the chilli from the chilli bean paste in there. Nice and succulent noodles as well. Fantastic. Guys, you know what I'm going to say. If you like this dish, you want to learn more, don't forget to subscribe to our School of Wok channel. I look like I'm going to hit you with these. And like.